Overwatch has over 50 maps, and most of us have played hundreds, maybe even thousands of matches on them without ever really stopping to look around. We're always focused on the objective, the team fight, or where that flanking tracer is coming from, but Blizzard has hidden countless details, lore snippets, and weird little Easter eggs in every corner of these environments. Today, we're going on a tour to find one secret on every single map in Overwatch 2. We'll uncover hidden lore, developer jokes, and things you've probably walked past 1,000 times and never noticed. Let's start the grand tour with Clash. Hanaoka is a beautiful map, but if you look inside the Dogtails Cafe, you'll notice pictures of several dogs. These aren't just stock photos, these are actual dogs owned by members of the development team. It's a nice little personal touch from the devs. On the other Clash map, Throne of Anubis, there's a small hidden Pharah Pachimari tucked away behind a rock wall near the first point. Next up are the control maps, and for these we found one secret for each of the 3 sub-maps. First is Antarctic Peninsula. On the labs level, if you go near the desk in the Cryonics Research Lab building, you can hear AI voice lines. The voice mentions a distress signal coming from an icebreaker ship called the Resolute. This directly connects to the second level, Icebreaker, which is that ship. This takes us to Icebreaker. If you look very carefully off the cliffs near both spawns, you can spot tiny little snowmen hidden away. You'd have to really be looking for these things to ever notice them. And on sub-level, the giant drill near the point has text on it that reads Big Snow Cone Maker. Moving on to Busan, in one of the spawn rooms on Mecha Base, you can actually see D.Va's personal room. It's exactly what you'd expect. A total mess, filled with ramen cups and nano cola cans, and her PC's running Mecha Guardian 5, the game she became world champion in. On Sanctuary, there's a stone near the capture point with text that translates to, "Those who have fallen shall be remembered forever." A fun fact about this text is that the font was changed in Season 8 after being the same since the map's release. Finally, in the PC Cafe spawn room on Downtown, the monitors show several in-universe games, including a Lucio game called Striker 11, a Final Fantasy-style game called Pachimari Odyssey, and a flight combat game called Green Fox, which itself is likely a reference to Star Fox. From Korea to Greece, let's look at Ilios. In one of the buildings near spawn on Lighthouse, there are postcards on display. One of these postcards shows what many believe is an early concept version of the Ruins level. The image features a statue of Hera, where the statue of Athena actually stands in-game. On Ruins itself, if you look out into the water, you can see a massive statue of a warrior in the distance. This is a reference to the Colossus of Rhodes, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, which depicted Helios, the Greek god of the sun. And while the well level doesn't have many obvious secrets, the street names are all references to the 12 labors of Hercules, like Nemea Street and Hippolytus Street. Next up is Lijiang Tower, one of my favorite maps in the game. The night market level is based on a real-world location in Chongqing, China, specifically its famous night markets. The food stalls are very accurate, showing things like squid on a stick and bao dumplings. On the garden level, the fish swimming around the tower appear to be holographic as the water and lilies glow. Some of the larger fish clip through the walls and each other. But the best lore secret is on the tower level. In one of the offices, there's a desk with an empty wheelchair. This desk belongs to Dr. Chow, the CEO of Lucheng Interstellar and head of the Horizon Lunar Colony project. According to lore, years of moving between microgravity and Earth's gravity caused her body to atrophy, confining her to a hover chair. It's a subtle, somber piece of storytelling that very few people would ever notice. Keeping with the theme of hidden lore, let's visit Nepal. In a room above the point on the village level, you can find what appears to be Genshi's room. There's a photo of him and Hanzo, along with a painting depicting 2 brothers, one with a sword and one with a bow, referencing the 2 Shamadas. On Shrine, the central temple structure isn't just a generic piece of architecture. It's almost a direct one-to-one copy of the Vatsala Durga temple found in Kathmandu, Nepal. As for Sanctum, well, I couldn't really find a deep secret here. The best I've got is that the holographic light effect coming down onto the point isn't perfectly centered with the hole in the ceiling, which now bothers me every time I play on it. Let's head to Oasis. In one of the spawn rooms on University, there are monitors displaying messages related to Hazard. One monitor shows a security alert about the break-in seen in Hazard's cinematic, and another shows messages to Moira where she speculates about security being tampered with. The black goo from Moira's lab is also missing, showing the aftermath of Hazard's theft. The secret on the other levels aren't quite as lore-driven though. On City Center, inside the hotel spawn room, there's a water fountain. If you shoot the button, water will actually come out of the fountain. And on Garden, both boats docked in the spawn rooms share the name Cyrus. Finally, for the control maps, we have Samoa. The beach level contains Mauga's personal room. It includes his shark slippers, weights, and a poster of Zarya, and the same shirt he wore in Baptiste's 2019 short story. On Downtown, you can find several hidden cat figures around the map, which are the same models used in the Pugtato store on Kanazaka. And on Volcano, underneath the deck overlooking the lava, there are 3 small dragon-like eggs identical to the ones Sigma and Brigitte hold in their Drake egg victory poses. Now let's follow the payload and move on to the escort maps. Starting with Circuit Royale, the attacker spawn is directly inspired by the real-life Monte Carlo casino. It features very similar architecture, awnings, and statues on the outside, and a similar glass ceiling and layout on the inside. On Watchpoint Gibraltar, there's this big screen in the attacker's first spawn that you've seen 1,000 times. It shows a bunch of active threats, but if you look closely, those aren't just random pictures. They're all actually images directly from the Resistance and Liberation story missions. Dorado's secret is less of an Easter egg and more of a glitch. There's a camera just floating out of bounds right outside the bank vault room. Speaking of out of bounds, Havana has an entire section of the map called the Plaza that is completely cut off and unreachable during normal gameplay. This area wasn't used in the Storm Rising Archives mission either, so it's likely part of some scrapped PvE content, or perhaps it was intended for a future deathmatch map that never materialized. Rialto has a similar situation. There's another large unused portion of the map. You can see a bit of it through a metal gate near the attacker's first spawn where a bridge leads off to, well, mostly just a wall. There's even a boat clipping through a wall right here. Back to character lore, Junkertown's secret is in the attacker's final spawn room, at the Swagman's Needlepoint Tattoo Parlor. You can see a design matching Roadhog's belly tattoo with a sold sticker on it, implying this is where he got it done. Junkrat's shoulder tattoo design is also on the wall. On Route 66, Ash really wants you to know she hates Cassidy. There are photos of him scattered all over the Deadlock Gang areas. He's used as a target on a dartboard, and in the Panorama Diner there are multiple wanted posters of him, some with knives stuck in them. She clearly holds a grudge. And for Shambhali Monastery, the secret is a bit corny. I should probably be put down for that one. In the first attacker spawn, there's corn hanging from a wall. If you shoot it, it actually makes popcorn and pops. But if you think this content pops, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. We're trying to hit 50k subs by the end of the year, and every single sub helps. Thank you so much for the support, and let's get back to the secrets. Next up is Flashpoint. On Atlas, there are a couple of little frogs just chilling near the waterfall point, one on a lily pad and another on top of a tower. Very cute. New Junk City has a huge piece of environmental lore. The entire map is actually built on top of the ruins of the Australian Omnium that exploded after the Australian Liberation Front uprising. If you look out of bounds, you can see just how massive this structure truly is. On Suravasa, there are crocodiles in the water near the Sanctum Point. But if you look closely, you'll see they don't have any legs. Blizzard didn't model limbs for them since they're mostly submerged. Who doesn't love a nubby little crocodile? Now for the hybrid maps, where things get really interesting. Starting with the map that is king of Easter eggs. Blizzard World is obviously full of Easter eggs, but a classic one involves Sombra. If you play as Sombra on defense and walk near the arcade machines in the first spawn, her logo will appear on the screens with a score of 9,999. Her name also appears on the high scoreboards nearby. Iconwald has a nod to another Blizzard franchise. In the hunting lodge near the payload start point, you can find a Diablo skull mounted on the wall. Hollywood also has a crossover game reference. The cameras all over the map say Kilrog, which refers to the WoW character Kilrog Deadeye. A movie poster even advertises Amazing Kilrog Vision 3D. Kings Row has one of the darkest secrets in the game. The payload that you push isn't just a simple bomb, it's an EMP device being escorted to the underworld where the persecuted Omnic population lives. The attacking team is effectively carrying out an act of genocide. On Midtown, things are a bit lighter. In the attacker's first spawn pizzeria, there are paintings of a character that looks suspiciously like Mario. One painting shows him hitting a Talon member with a pizza pan, and another shows him helping Blackwatch during the Retribution event. For some reason. Numbani features a direct link to a short story. Scattered around the map are little bug-like robots called Junies. In the lore, Ify created these to protect Numbani while she and Orisa left to join Overwatch. It's cool to see them connect the external media back into the game world. It really makes it feel alive. And in Paraíso, inside Lucio's room in the Final Defender spawn, you can see several of his album covers on the wall. 3 of them, I Can't Say This One, The Millennium Anxiety, and Internal Monologue are direct references to popular Kermit the Frog memes. Now let's hang out with our best buddy TS1 and check out the push maps. On Coliseo, the Coliseum itself isn't actually a full model. If you look at it from out of bounds, you'll see about a quarter of it is just missing entirely. On Esperanza, you can find little rooster statues around the map. These depict the rooster of Barcelos, a symbol of good luck and proof of innocence in Portuguese folklore. New Queen Street features Reggie Buckworth's law office, the Omnic lawyer you saved during the Liberation Story mission. Finally, on Runasapi, you can spot pairs of bull statues on top of several buildings. These are Pucara bulls, a Peruvian symbol for protection and happiness traditionally placed on roofs. Now for some legacy maps you might not see outside of the arcade. On the winter version of Hanamura, there's a sad, melting snowman with an anguished look on his face reaching its arms up right outside the attacker's first spawn. Horizon Lunar Colony has some genuinely creepy lore. In the attacker's first spawn, security cameras show footage of the moments the genetically enhanced apes went wild and attacked the scientists. Evidence of the destruction is all over the map, from broken windows to ape footprints. On Paris, while you can't reach it, there is an almost exact, fully modeled replica of the Notre Dame Cathedral out of bounds. On Temple of Anubis, on the outside of the attacker's spawn vehicle, there's a painting of a Murloc. And on Volskaya Industries, the mechs in the background will occasionally stop working and start dancing. Junkrat and Roadhog would be so proud. Now we have even more arcade maps to cover. For CTF and elimination maps, let's start with Ayutthaya. The secret here is that there really isn't one. The map itself is a faithful representation of the real-world ruins in Thailand, with praying towers, but in terms of hidden Easter eggs, it's pretty empty. On Black Forest, during the winter version, the river below freezes solid. Because of this, the watermills actually stop moving, which is a neat little detail. Castillo has a direct comic reference. In one of the spawn rooms, you can see Cassidy's hat sitting on the bar, exactly matching a panel from the Reflections comic where he's drinking with Sombra. Chateau Guillard has a huge lore drop on Widowmaker's laptop. It shows a message confirming a limousine pickup for her at the airport to go to Monaco, under the alias Danielle Guillard. This directly sets up the Masquerade comic where she meets Doomfist. Echo Point Antarctica shows notes left by May during her isolation. One note speculates on the cause of the weather anomaly, listing global warming, unexplained phenomenon, and aliens with a cute little drawing. Kanazaka has a cat cafe where all the cat pictures belong to Team 4 developers, similar to the dog cafe on Hanaoka. Malavento remains a mystery. It has a building operated by Talon with blueprints and shotguns, but its purpose has never been fully explained in the lore, though it was originally intended to be an extension of Rialto. Necropolis shows where Ana was hiding out. You can find her biotic grenades, rifle, and a hologram of young Far next to her bed. Monitors show she was actively tracking Reaper at the time. Petra features logos and drones belonging to an organization that was a mystery for years. With Venture's release, we now finally know this is the Wayfinder Society. Finally, let's look at the new stadium maps. On Gogodoro, from one specific spot outside spawn, you can see the Busan mecha base in the distance. You can't see it from anywhere else on the map though. Arena Victory expands on the lore from Coliseo, showing posters and weapon displays. It also teases a mysterious fourth warrior, the Wolf of Retaliation. Powderkeg Mines shows Deadlock's plans to break into Watchpoint Grand Mesa. The Watchpoint building is out of bounds, but you can see it from the map. Thames District shows that Vishkar is moving into London with sponsored status and new construction projects visible in the distance. Unfortunately, a couple of the stadium maps are pretty barren. Place LaCroix doesn't seem to have any secrets besides an accordion sitting on a table, and Redwood Dam, well, despite being called a dam, there isn't actually any water behind it if you look out of bounds. Hey everyone, I have something special to share. Over the last few days, you have all helped me choose the design for our very first ever community pin, and this is the one that you picked, the Endorsement Level 5 pin. This pin is a great way to show other people in the real world that you're a dedicated fan of this community and Overwatch in a low-key way. It's a great way to represent the positive, non-toxic side of the game we all love. If you'd like one, the pre-order is live right now. Your support directly helps the channel, and as a thank you, you'll get the permanent Endorsement Level 5 role in our Discord. It's a pre-order, so we need at least 50 orders to get them made. If we don't hit that goal, you'll get a full refund, no questions asked. It's $19.99 and that includes free shipping. The link is at the very top of the description and in the pinned comment. You can get yours at kaizenworks.com. Thank you for making this happen. And with that, our grand tour is over. You now know a secret for every single map currently in Overwatch. I hope you leave this video with a greater appreciation for the little details put into the world, even in places players rarely look. They all come together to make Overwatch feel like Overwatch. Which secret was your favorite? Are there any obvious ones that I missed? Let me know down in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in-game.